This program is paid for by The Crossover with Marlon and Armon. Subscribe to their show-owned content at youtube.com/@thecrossover1060.
You're now tuned in to The Crossover with Marlon Jones and Armon Williams.
Hold up, you're teaming up a Sun Devil and a Wildcat? Who came up with that brilliant idea?
The Crossover on KDUS AM 1060.
All right, welcome back to The Crossover with Marlon and Armon, KDUS 1060. Subscribe and follow us on our social media accounts on both our YouTube and our Facebook channels and pages. You can follow us, if you're on YouTube, it'd be youtube.com/@thecrossover1060, and Facebook, it's facebook.com/thecrossover1060. All right, let's get into our more buzz segment here. Bleacher Report, they just dropped a tweet last night after the Clippers got embarrassed by the Dallas Mavericks and Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving and crew. Last night they lost 144 to 126, and it wasn't even that close. Mm-hmm. It was just absolute beatdown. They put out an interesting tweet that I just mentioned from the previous segment, that the Clippers are 0-3 since they acquired James Harden and from the Philadelphia 76ers. And I already kind of asked you the last segment, is James Harden a team chemistry wrecker? And you kind of answered that a little bit.
Yeah, it's looking that way. I mean, I hate to say it. I mean, I'm trying to pinpoint, after we hear, but I want to pinpoint when Harden, who was literally the best player in the league for a minute.
Yes, he was MVP.
Yeah, he was MVP. He was MVP finalist for 3 years in a row.
Mr. Triple-double.
Triple-double, like 60-point triple-doubles.
Yeah, crazy numbers.
And then when Chris Paul got to Houston, they actually meshed well and got to the Western Conference Finals, lost to Golden State. But, that James Harden was beautiful. And I just, now all of a sudden, he went from that to, I don't know what happened. He leaves, he goes to Brooklyn, he goes to Philly, and all of a sudden, he's like a me player. He looks a little bit out of shape.
I think it's part of it might be them wings and them strip clubs in Atlanta. Them going out there in Buckhead.
And even his skill set looks diminished. He was for that, like I said, that run, that MVP run he had in Houston. He was literally unguardable. Yeah, completely unguardable.
You couldn't stop him. The referees gave him about 4 or 5 steps in that slide. Time he's out there doing the electric slide before you shoot those, the fall away threes.
Yeah,
but he was phenomenal, man.
He got to the hole anytime he wanted to go. He shot 20 free throws a game. Attacking the rim, and on top of his scoring prowess, he was dropping dimes, to Capella and them, and I just. It's just amazing to me how his skill set it's just kind of, his stock has dropped considerably.
It's plummeted.
Yeah.
It's really plummeted.
He's not the same player.
He still can put up efficient numbers.
Well, yeah.
But I don't know if he's necessarily a great chemistry guy with a good team or a team that's looking to try to win a title, man. And to that, this is pretty interesting. I saw this the other night, and I thought that I definitely got to put this on the show. It's a little lengthy, but I think you guys should buckle in and listen to it. This is what the Mavs announced. They played the Mavs last night. They lost 144-126. This is what the Mavs announcer, Brian Damaris, this is what he had to say about it. Now, he didn't hold anything back as far as his criticism of James Harden and the Mavs beat down over the Clippers Friday night. This is what he had to say about James Harden.
Ask the producer to pipe this into the Clippers locker room so I can talk to you, James. I hope you're taking notes. I'm telling you in advance, you're welcome for the wisdom I'm about to spew. Because, listen, I get on my knees every night and pray for someone to believe in me like Daryl Morey believed in you. You wanted a certain coach, they brought in Mike D'Antoni. You wanted to play a certain style, they played it. You wanted Dwight Howard, they brought him in and got rid of him when you were tired of him. You wanted Chris Paul, they brought him in and got rid of him when you were tired of him. They brought in your old friend Russell Westbrook. You wanted to go to Vegas on off days? They looked away. You wanted the team to stay over so you could go out at night. They changed the schedule, and it didn't work. And you know what? You said, I'm going to break up with my whoopee. Not good enough. I see the bright lights in New York. I want to go there. My old pal Kevin Durant. It's going to work. The big three. And after 1 year, you want it out. You realize, oh my gosh, I took this guy for granted, the guy that believed in me. I went back with Daryl Morey. They traded Ben Simmons for you. How did they pull that off? And you know what? You went there and you got a partner who got the MVP. He won the MVP. And what did you say afterwards? You said, they didn't hand me the reins. You're the point guard. You're holding the reins. And what did you do when you had the reins? You scored 9 points in Game 7 against Boston. You blew a 3-2 series lead. So they fired their coach. Not good enough. You broke up with the guy who believed in you again. You said, the bright lights of L.A., that's where I want to go. Let's see if that works. Listen, James, have you ever had those friends who had bad roommates? Over and over, they complained about their bad roommates. This guy's terrible. The bad roommate here. They never thought to be self-aware enough that they're the bad roommate. They're the problem. Hey, James, you're the problem. If this doesn't work this year in this system with this team, then you're going to go and point fingers at everybody else, and you're going to go back home and you're going to start swiping right for another team, and there's not going to be anybody left. Because, James, you're not the beard, you're not the system, you're the problem.
Damn. That was Mavs announcer Brian Damaris not holding anything back as he went ahead and took a sledgehammer to James Harden's reputation.
You notice they had ether in the background, too, so that was actually the right song.
Exactly.
The right background music for that.
Right
soliloquy.
beats, everything, yes. Kudos to salute to them.
My goodness.
Damn, that was hardcore.
He's speaking truth, though.
Yeah.
He's speaking the absolute truth, and of course, being a Sun Devil, I hate to say it,
He's the greatest Sun Devil that ever.
One of them. That's
who
a
would
debate.
the other one be?
Well, that'll take up some time. We'll discuss that.
Yeah.
I'll get that at the end, right before they kick us out.
Okay.
But
Fat Lever?
hey,
he's a good one.
He was a triple-double master, too.
Byron Scott.
Yeah, Byron Scott.
Yeah.
He was there for. He actually put ASU with that walk on the map. But
what was the one dude? Was it Dalu?
Who? Oh, Ike Diagu.
Diagu. Yeah. He wasn't bad.
Diagu was not bad at all.
Yeah.
And we got Lou Dort in there being one of the best defensive guards in the league right now.
Right. Eddie House wasn't bad.
But we digress right now.
Yeah. Back to James Harden.
Back to the situation at hand with Harden being a cancer.
Back to the process, or they call him the problem.
The problem.
Yeah.
Not the period. Oh man,
he had
cold.
I don't know if this is real, but I saw something on Twitter the other night where it said it had a picture of James Harden. It had a quote. It said, "I'm not into the process. I am the process." That sounds like something he would say. I don't know if he said that, if he actually said that or not. But that was.
I don't know. Like I said, man, there's certain players that, this is why I miss Kobe. Because Kobe took his craft seriously. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't out at the clubs all night. He wasn't going to Vegas on his off days. He was getting up at 3 or 4 in the morning, and he was working out. And he was working on his craft, and he worked on his craft the entire time.
Right.
He was in the league, and players aren't built that way anymore.
You can say that about LeBron James. Similar. I mean, look at how much money he spends on himself.
LeBron, he's different. LeBron is different.
There's a reason why he can do that damn near 40 years old, putting up numbers like he is.
Right.
He takes it seriously, like Kobe did.
Right, and I can't think of a player right now that is in that category where they just, they're just fanatic about the game, and they just work on their craft even during the season. I mean, that's all they do is just work. Mm-hmm. And it's just now, it's just like, hey, okay, we just played. Let's go hit the spot, or let's go do this, let's go do that, and they just. That's just it, and it's a fashion show. Although, what are you going to wear or what? It's not the same.
Where's the party at? Where the women at?
Yeah, I mean, I will see how Wemby is. He looks like he might be a little bit different. And of course, he's got the right system, with Popovich and all that. A little bit more disciplined system that's going to, let him know the right way to be a professional.
And he does seem to be managed well.
Mm-hmm.
They're managing, all the way to like the amount of sleep that he gets. Make sure that he's not sleep deprived. Make sure that he's getting like something like it was. I read a story there. They try to give him something ridiculous, like about 10 hours of sleep a day, whatever. pretty much almost damn near like mandatory that they make.
That's good because I'd hate for him to be one of those 30 for 30 stories about what could have been or whatever. Take care of him. He's 19. He's never been to America. This is the first time he's been exposed to American cities. It's a lot different, than what he's probably used to in Europe.
Right.
Especially with the rampant plethora of IG models and quote unquote and everything else. Keep his head level, work on your game. Let's keep you on the right track.
Limit your social media.
Let's really, let's work on your game and fulfill that potential that you have, which is astronomically out the charts, his potential. And we see it. Mm-hmm. I mean, he just had 29 the other night. So,
yeah, he did.
So he might be in that realm of being a professional, working on his craft and not letting outside entities disrupt.
Kind of workaholic.
Yeah, because there's not a lot of players now that are that way. I think Kevin Durant's that way.
Yeah, he's definitely, and Book seems to be that way for the most part. Now, granted, he is hanging out with some Kardashians from time to time.
Yeah, you can't do that.
But he does seem dedicated to his craft. He puts in the work, and that may actually been one of the things that really kind of frustrated them with between him and somebody like DeAndre Ayton.
Yeah.
DeAndre Ayton is a little bit too focused on hanging out, not necessarily hanging out and partying, but playing video games.
Well, Devin was part of that Mamba Academy crew of young players that worked with Kobe, before he passed. With Jason Tatum, Kawhi.
Right.
Then there's a few players that are, I guess, when I think about it,
right,
that are cut from that same cloth.
All right. Coming up next, we won't have Crazy Tracy this week for you, but in his place we have Big G giving you his picks and his special locks for this week. For this weekend, you're tuned into the Crossover at KDUS 1060.